Imagine waking up one morning not to the familiar blue or gray, but to a sky utterly transformed. Picture a celestial masterpiece, a breathtaking array of rings gracefully stretching from one horizon to the other. A sight that redefines the very meaning of sky. Now let's consider how this spectacle would appear from different corners of the globe. In Quito, Ecuador, nestled near the equator, the rings would present themselves as a razor-thin yet undeniably brilliant line, sharply bisecting the sky. This radiant line would achieve its peak brilliance at midday, casting a unique glow upon the city. As the sun dips below the horizon, and again as it rises, the rings would ignite with molten gold and crimson hues, painting the sky with unparalleled beauty. But the view changes as we move further from the equator. Journey north to iconic cities like Paris or Rome, and the rings would transform into a majestic archway, a celestial monument dominating the southern sky, a sight to behold for all who look up. This archway wouldn't be static, it would gracefully shift in angle and thickness, dancing with the changing seasons, a constant reminder of the Earth's journey around the sun. In the heart of summer, the arch would climb high into the sky, a proud and prominent feature. But as winter approaches, it would gracefully sink low, almost kissing the horizon. This celestial dance would mark the passage of time, becoming as reliable a marker as the sun's daily journey across the sky. Now, imagine the view from the Earth's extreme points. At the poles, the rings would no longer be an arch, but instead, hover just above the horizon, creating a constant ethereal glow, a permanent twilight that bathes the icy landscapes in a soft otherworldly light. During the long polar night, when the sun disappears for months, they'd become the primary source of light, a beacon in the darkness. They would cast a silvery sheen across the ice, transforming the landscape into a shimmering wonderland, forever erasing true darkness from the polar regions. Shifting hemispheres in Sydney, Australia, the arch would once again dominate the sky, this time gracing the northern horizon. It would frame iconic landmarks like the Sydney Opera House and Harbour Bridge, creating breathtaking vistas and reflecting its ethereal light on the harbor at night, doubling the spectacle. These rings would transcend mere visual phenomena. They would become an integral part of Earth's identity, as familiar and comforting as the sight of mountains or the sound of ocean waves. They'd connect every single person on the planet, regardless of location or culture, through a shared, magnificent vision, a common experience that binds us all. Our sense of home, of belonging, would be forever altered, expanded by this shared celestial wonder, fostering a deeper connection to our planet and to each other. The rings would not be perceived as a foreign object, an alien intrusion into our familiar skies. Instead, they'd be seamlessly woven into the very fabric of our world, an intrinsic part of our shared reality. Every culture, every city, every landscape, from the bustling metropolises to the serene natural wonders, would be profoundly shaped by their constant, awe-inspiring presence. The sky, our constant companion, our shared canvas, would never ever be the same again. A dense ring system would transform Earth's daily rhythm, casting vast, moving shadows across the tropics. For hours each day, equatorial regions would be plunged into a deep, ring-induced twilight, even at noon. This filtered glow would cool the tropics, weakening the temperature gradient that drives global weather. Unique fog and cloud patterns would form along the shadow's edge, retuning the engine of our climate. Tropical ecosystems would adapt, plants evolving for low light, animals shifting their behaviors, and new evolutionary pressures shaping life. Agriculture would be revolutionized, shade-tolerant crops replacing sun-hungry staples, and farmers inventing new ways to capture sunlight. The global map of food production would shift, with equatorial nations specializing in crops for a world of diminished light. Economies and trade would be upended, as the shadowed lands became twilight breadbaskets. Life itself would be forced to adapt to the daily eclipse. The rings would reshape not just the sky, but the very foundation of civilization. By night, the rings would act as a colossal mirror, a celestial reflector on a scale previously unimaginable, reflecting sunlight and banishing true darkness, casting a perpetual twilight across the globe. The deep, inky black of night would become a thing of the past. Even on moonless nights, a soft silvery glow would bathe the world, a constant ethereal luminescence replacing the stark contrast of light and shadow, bright enough to read by, allowing for nighttime activities without the need for artificial light sources. Imagine reading a novel under the gentle glow of the rings. To walk by, enabling safe and pleasant evening strolls without the reliance on flashlights or street lamps. To see the landscape in ghostly detail. The familiar contours of the world would be rendered in a new, otherworldly light. Cities would need less artificial light, reducing energy consumption and altering the urban landscape. But the loss of darkness would disrupt circadian rhythms, impacting sleep patterns and overall health for many. For humans and animals alike. The delicate balance of nature would be thrown into disarray. Nocturnal predators would lose their advantage, their hunting strategies rendered ineffective in the perpetual twilight. Prey would adapt, and the balance of the night would shift, leading to unforeseen consequences within the ecosystem. The ring's glow would create permanent light pollution, a constant haze obscuring the natural beauty of the night sky, washing out faint stars and distant galaxies, forever altering our view of the cosmos. Ground-based astronomy would become nearly impossible, hindering our ability to study the universe from our home planet, pushing observatories off-planet, forcing us to rely on space-based telescopes for astronomical research. Our cosmic window would become a mirror, reflecting the ring's light back at us, obscuring the faint light from distant stars, trading the universe's secrets for a spectacular local view, a beautiful yet ultimately limiting trade-off. The moon's role would change, its light diminished near the rings, its familiar glow overshadowed by the artificial brilliance, and lunar eclipses would glow with faint, reflected ring light, creating an eerie and unusual spectacle. The interplay between moon and rings would create new celestial phenomena, complex and beautiful patterns of light and shadow. The night sky would be forever transformed, beautiful but confining, a constant reminder of our altered reality. Our relationship with the cosmos would be altered, our connection to the universe forever changed. Our curiosity redirected inward, our focus shifting from the distant stars to the immediate spectacle above. The rings would illuminate but also obscure, providing light while simultaneously blocking our view of the deeper cosmos. We'd gain a spectacle but lose the stars, a trade-off that would forever alter our perception of the universe. The rings would shape not just our science, guiding our research and fueling our discoveries, but our culture, art, and identity, becoming deeply intertwined with the very fabric of our society. They would influence our creative expressions and shape the stories we tell ourselves. From the dawn of humanity, as we looked up at the night sky, they'd be the home of gods, celestial beings watching over us, the bridge to the afterlife, a shimmering gateway to the unknown, the source of myth and meaning inspiring countless tales and legends. Religions would center on the celestial arch, finding divine significance in its form and placement, with sacred stories and rituals tied to its presence, passed down through generations. Flags, art, and architecture all would bear the mark of the rings, would echo the ring's form, subtly and overtly, sweeping curves and radiant arcs everywhere, influencing design aesthetics across the globe. Painters and poets inspired by the celestial display would immortalize its shifting colors, capturing its beauty on canvas and in verse. Composers would capture its majesty in music, translating the visual spectacle into auditory experiences. The rings would be a global compass, a constant point of reference, shaping language and direction, influencing how we navigate and understand our world. Everything under the arch, a ringward gaze, a shared orientation. They'd unify humanity, transcending cultural boundaries, with a shared frame of reference, a common experience, a symbol of home, a comforting presence in the vastness of space. Science would focus on ring dynamics, dedicating resources to understanding their nature, mapping grooves and shepherd moons, unraveling the mysteries of their composition and behavior, while philosophers pondered our place, questioning our significance beneath this cosmic ornament, contemplating our role in the grand scheme of things. The rings would inspire awe, curiosity, sparking a sense of wonder in every generation, and a sense of belonging, fostering a shared identity and purpose. They'd force us to ask new questions, challenging our assumptions about destiny and purpose, prompting us to reevaluate our place in the cosmos. Are we protected, sheltered beneath their radiant glow, or confined by this celestial shield? Are we free to explore or bound by their presence? The rings would be our muse, inspiring creativity and innovation, and our mystery, a constant source of fascination and intrigue. They'd define our sense of place, anchoring us to this world, in the universe, giving us a unique perspective on our existence. Our souls would be forever marked, indelibly imprinted by their presence, shaping our destiny in ways we can only begin to imagine. Storytelling would flourish under the rings, with every culture weaving epic tales to explain the arch above. Myths of cosmic serpents, bridges to the gods, and heroes journeying along the ring's shadow would shape morality and tradition. A new zodiac would emerge, constellations bisected by the glowing arch, and astrology would chart destinies by the ring's position. Literature and poetry would overflow with ring-inspired metaphors, promises as constant as the northern arch, sorrows in the shadow of the rings. Science fiction would dream not of distant stars but of exploring the rings themselves, miners, scientists, and outposts in perpetual twilight. Music would echo the ring's grandeur, with symphonies and folk songs capturing their rhythm and color. The rings would be the silent, ever-present soundtrack to human experience. Our stories would be written in the sky. The ring's beauty would come with danger, a constant rain of debris from the sky. Perpetual meteor showers would dazzle, but larger fragments would pose real threats, making reinforced roofs and meteorite-proof buildings a necessity. Occasionally, Earth would pass through denser clumps, triggering impact seasons with skyrocketing meteor rates and heightened anxiety. These bombardments would alter the atmosphere, change soil and ocean chemistry, and slowly integrate extraterrestrial material into our world. The rings would not just hang above us, they'd become part of our air, water, and land. Living under the rings would mean accepting risk as part of daily life. The sky would be both a spectacle and a hazard. Beauty and danger would fall together. Space travel on a ringed Earth would be a perilous challenge. The equatorial region would be a cosmic minefield, making geostationary orbits impossible, and satellite launches risky. Rockets would need to launch into polar orbits, using complex trajectories to avoid the debris field. Satellite networks would be more complicated, relying on angled orbits and ground stations for global coverage. The rings themselves would become a new frontier, mined for water ice, studied for science, and perhaps even colonized on stable moonlets. Advanced shielding and navigation would be essential for any mission. The cost and complexity of space exploration would soar. The rings would be both a barrier and a gateway to the cosmos. The rings would make Earth the jewel of the solar system, uniting us under a banner of cosmic beauty. Yet, they'd disrupt climates, threaten safety, and rob us of the darkness needed to see the universe beyond. Our view would turn inward, focused on our own magnificent, confining sky. The challenges would drive innovation, stronger buildings, new crops, advanced space travel. The rings would sharpen our ingenuity and resilience. Living on a ringed Earth would be a trade-off: complexity for beauty, risk for wonder. The sky would demand more from us, but offer daily grandeur in return. The rings would be a double-edged sword, dangerous but irresistible. Their beauty might be worth the price. To be born on a ringed Earth is to inherit a different relationship with the sky, a world defined by wonder and complexity. The rings would be fundamental, shaping our pride and humility, reminding us of forces greater than ourselves. We'd feel the pull of the cosmos in every meteor shower, see the laws of physics in every shimmering arc. Our science, culture, and evolution would be shaped by the great arch above. The rings would challenge and endanger us, but also unite and inspire. Would we choose them if we could? The answer is unknowable, but imagining it deepens our appreciation for the world we have. The dream of a ringed Earth expands our sense of the possible and reminds us to cherish our own blue sky.